Director cameos aren't new in cinema. The idea of a director appearing in their own movie for a few moments as a sort of wink to camera goes way back in the history of cinema. It would take so long to talk about every director who does cameos in their own films or in other people's films, but I'm going to try and narrow it down. It goes without saying that Alfred Hitchcock is probably the most well known for doing this. He can be subtle and he can be overt with his cameos, but when you're as good as Hitchcock, you can do whatever you want. Over the years, the lines sort of blur. You have people like Mel Brooks and Kevin Smith who are the sorts of directors that are known personalities, and in Smith's case even turn those cameos into full-blown movie roles. You'd think this is where I'd go into something like Jay and Silent Bob Reboot and talk about how crazy that film is for cameos in general, and maybe discuss Kevin Smith as Silent Bob going from Clerks all the way to the present day, and maybe rip into him, but you'd be wrong. Maybe I'll talk about Kevin Smith one day. Hell, I've wrote my dissertation on him back in university, so I think I'm a little bit qualified. But no, I want to talk about Fred Durst. Yep. William Frederick Durst is someone you probably most know from Limp Bizkit. I'm telling you, the turn of the century was wild. Limp Bizkit brought the world a whole new type of new metal, rap rock fusion you didn't know we needed. Hell, their album Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water went multi-platinum. The early 2000s were kind to Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit. They were in the cultural zeitgeist, they performed at WrestleMania 19 before The Undertaker's iconic match against Big Show and A-Train, and they even performed the theme song to the best Mission Impossible movie. As for Limp Bizkit now, well, they still make music, and evidently the Insane Clown Posse want to dropkick Durst. But I want to bring up Fred Durst's most recent pursuit, directing movies. Since 2007, Durst has directed 3 feature films: The Education of Charlie Banks, The Long Shots, and The Fanatic. I'm all about musicians utilising other talents. The Proposition, written by Nick Cave, for example, is a phenomenal western set in the Australian outback. But Fred Durst truly tries to show his range with these 3 movies: a college drama, a high school sports movie, and The Fanatic. It's crazy The Fanatic exists. It's produced by Redbox, which does not hold the seal of quality of Netflix, but Durst manages to bring John Travolta and Devon Sawa from Final Destination together in this dark and disturbing thriller. I'm just in awe of this movie. To see the choices Travolta makes as a mentally challenged film fanatic is fascinating.
Here's Moosey!
It feels like he was allowed to be let loose on set, making choices Durst rolled with to make such an interesting watch.
Everybody says that. Say something.
It's nuts that this movie fits into a perfect 88 minutes, but by the halfway mark you truly don't know where this film is going. It's generally not that well received a movie, but I'll give it this: I appreciate the cameo in it. You see, like I said about the lines blurring in regards to director cameos, you get more than just a blink and you miss it like you did with Hitchcock. But it doesn't just extend to screen time in movies. Sin City, directed by Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller, also had a guest director in Quentin Tarantino, which in the way is a sort of director cameo, or a completely different director cameos his own take on a sequence in a film, appearing in the very construction of the film that isn't necessarily his own. The Fanatic, however, has something more inspired. It's a film that's already metatextual and reflexive on the world of Hollywood, but there's a sequence around a minute long that is the culmination of Fred Durst's career up to this point. Devon Sawa's character drives his son through his neighborhood, listening to Limp Bizkit.
You like a little Limp Biscuit?
Sure.
You like a little biscuit?
And it's not just on in the background as a wink to the audience. Sawa actively engages dialogue about Limp Bizkit, and how it's what he listened to back in the day. He celebrates the music in one of the quieter moments in the film, a sequence that feels like a big turn in the story, because that's what inspires Sawa to almost run over Travolta's character. The turn in Durst's career is used metaphorically to great effect. Soundtrack and Sawa's character turn into full-on antagonist. From this moment in Fanatic, we also get a moment to reflect on Fred Durst's own journey to get here. He's gone from going multi-platinum, playing WrestleMania 19, cameos as an actor in other movies, being dropkicked by the Insane Clown Posse, starting off as a movie director, and now finding his true place with The Fanatic, a film that stars John Travolta from Gotti.
This life ends one of 2 ways: dead or in jail. I did both.
As cameos in movies go, The Fanatic has something special, and in this tasteful film about mental disorder, Hollywood, and obsession, Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit knocked it out of the park. There's not a single director in Hollywood out there that's ever done anything better than this, at least in the realm of cameo. So keep on rolling, Fred Durst. I treasure you as much as I treasured The Undertaker's biker gimmick from 2000 to 2003.